Hello everyone, and welcome back again. Today I am here to explain what I think is one of Blender's most deceptively powerful tools, the color ramp. On the surface, the color ramp appears to just be a node here, where you feed it an image, in this case our noise texture, and it'll process it and spit out a new image with different colors on it. If I wiggle these sliders around or pick a new color on them, you can see that our final result here will change. But the question is, how does it decide which colors end up where on the final result? These three planes here kind of illustrate what happens behind the scenes inside of the color ramp node when you plug an image in. So what happens inside of a color ramp node is you actually take your image, in this case again, the noise texture, it could be any image, and you feed it in. And right here, the image is made black and white. So you can see that it goes from image, becomes black and white, and we get this as a result. If the image is already a black and white image, it's just going to stay the same, but in our case we went from color to black and white. So what the node does is it's going to take this black and white image and it's going to look at every single pixel on it, and based on the shade of gray that that pixel is, anywhere from completely black to completely white, anywhere in between, it's going to assign that pixel a position along this invisible gradient scale. And based on its position, it's going to draw a line straight up into your ramp and then reassign that pixel the color that corresponds right above it on the ramp. You can see if I hop into Blender again real quick and we set that same node back to linear, these become muddy again. So now that you've seen that explained, it's kind of easier to understand why the result is the same whether I stick in this one or we feed in this texture as the feed. This blurry image, when you feed it in to the color ramp and it gets assigned its positions here, it's gonna have a gazillion different shades of gray, white, black, everywhere all over this. And when all of these little positions look for their new color on the ramp, they're gonna land on a bunch of different colors fading between the blue, the green, and the red on this ease ramp. But on the constant ramp, which gives this sharp result, anything in the whole range is solid blue, and then green and red, respectively. However, when you feed the already sharpened image in as the initial source, the only three colors, or I guess shades of gray that are on this, is one that is directly right here, the black, the white precisely here, and the gray in the middle, which is right here. So when you have the colored ramp here, the colorful one I should say, on constant, you're going to have it be right on the blue, the green, and the red, and you'll get the same sharp result. However, even when I set it to ease, the final result is still going to look just as sharp because you're only taking exactly this blue, exactly the yellowish color here, and exactly the red, which you can see shows up on our plane. And then if we set this back to constant and then feed in the blurry one, still sharp. So now that you understand how the color ramp achieves its result, the question is, I guess, who really cares about just making a texture into new colors? Why is that so important? Well, the most immediate example I can think of is that images and color ramps can be used to control the intensity of almost any slider in Blender, because images can act as number data, where black is 0 and white is 1. So to help illustrate what I mean with the number value thing, we have two spheres here with the same color ramp noise texture setup being fed onto each one. And we also have two shaders here. If we show this one on the right sphere, it's just this magic texture being displayed on the sphere. And if we show this one, you can see we have some glass with Suzanne hiding inside. And when we feed them through the mix, it does what mix shaders do, and it mixes them. So if we set it to 0, it's completely going to show this one. At 1, it'll show our glass, and anywhere in between is kind of a blur. Now, if we plug in the color ramp to the factor, you can see that we now have control over exactly which parts of our object are going to show
which shader. And additionally, we can actually change the white or black colors here to change what number essentially is being fed into that spot on the factor. So if we make this kind of gray, you get that halfway sort of blurred version. And then if we set this back to completely white, you can see that it becomes totally glass and the black spots are the glossy shade. This basic setup with a texture being fed through the color ramp can be used to control any number value for any node in the entire software. So anything here, you could have a gazillion different textures with a dozen color ramps each being fed into every node here to give you the finest possible control over everything, and all from what appears to just be a node that makes an image into some new colors. Anyway, let me know if something isn't clear in the video, or if there's maybe a different concept or node or whatever that you'd like explained, and I'll either respond in the comments or try to make a whole video on it to answer you. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.